become one freaky creature's monster party.
And you come back to your cell. Webs cover your feet, sticking you securely to the ground. In what would have been the center of the room is the statue of a man seated at a chair, looking up, but the eyes are completely hollow. Jonathan Simms is standing next to it, green eyes smiling out. There will be a special place for all of you in this new world that we will make then. There is a sensor ball leaking familiar green smoke and a candle that seems not to give off any light. You can feel the burns on your wrist and remember the aching of your lungs. Energy is pulled from you, orange and green, into each of these stone pillars. Mandy, there is a map that doesn't make sense, and a chess piece made of white bone. You feel the fear flow out of you. From the spot where the distortion touched you, it runs gold. And from the heart that does not beat as often as it should, there is white that joins the colors on the stone. Chris, Exaltiora and a tangled clump of red yarn lay before you. And you remember the terror of seeing Mark pulled away from you by the sky, and the hours you spent in front of your conspiracy board connecting strings. And as you do, purple and blue energy flows out of your soul into the patterns on the floor. Bill, a jar of black water and a mask sits in front of you. And you remember when the spotlight of the stranger hit you and took away what it meant to be you. And the fear of the darkness in the church. And the energy is pulled from you into the lines on the floor. Delilah, your rib bone and a brass whistle. And you remember the ripping pain of the bone turner and the soul-chilling touch of Peter Lucas. Red energy is pulled from you, almost completing the circuit on the ground. Basira, in front of her is the knife that she once carried and the key. And you all see the energy coming out of Basira, yellow and brown, as it joins with the rest of yours. They come together in a perfect six-pointed star on the ground, and each of your energies wrap around you, forming a crown upon your head. Jonah Magnus stands behind this statue of himself. The energy from this circle rising until it becomes a crown upon his head. You who watch and know and understand none. Ben, you hear a door creaking open behind you, and Helen's voice. What do you think? Should we see what this new world will be? Or should we fuck up some shit?
Pull out the detonators.
Which one do you trigger?
The building.
Boom! The ceiling shakes and rock falls down, and he curls up on himself a little bit, like he just got punched in the gut. Shakes his head. You who listen and hear and will not comprehend.
Yes.
Mark is still holding your hand. Maybe we should just let it happen. We'll be together, and that's all that matters.
I'm going to attempt a summoning, channeling as much power as I can steal from Mark.
You pull Mark's hand up.
There's always a bigger fish!
He's next to me, so I'm going to see that he's trying to channel magic. I'm going to redivert as much magic as I can to him, rather than trying to come up with a crazy plan, being like, you've got this.
And this giant fish splatters the hell out of everything. The energy coming from you guys and just roiling in the middle cuts through it, which just causes it to splatter more. And his hair is in his face. You who wait and drink in all that is not yours by right. Mandy, you point your bat and a laser beam of white right into this statue, and it flakes away into dust. And at this, he collapses. He reaches into his jacket and he pulls out a small vial of green liquid. He goes to uncork it, and a bit of webbing cover his hand. And he looks up, and Annabelle Kane lands on top of him with two knives sticking right into each of his eyes, and she is standing on the chair. poor dear. Did you really think I was gonna let you win?
Mm-mm,
And he
really?
collapses to the ground, and she sits down. Where were we? You who weave the threads of fate, and the light begins to rise once again and settle upon her head. You who twist and puppet and manipulate. You who wait and steal away all that is not yours. And as she says this,
Delilah's still trying to process the fact that I have the lonely energy, and that just pisses me off. Because I have been trying to get my shit together. And I look down at that whistle, and I reject it. And I grab Basira's hand, and I say, I don't want to be lonely anymore.
and you fucking lock onto those lips. And as you do so, the gray energy flickers and stops. And the light begins to fade around you all. And she turns to you and goes, no. If you need to be more lonely, that can be arranged.
I want to cast a spell. Fireball.
And the fire seems to come out of both your hand and this candle in front of you. Chris.
Hey there, hot stuff. Get it? You're on fire. Firing my shotgun.
I'm gonna fucking like laser dot thing.
This white laser beam of light
I stab her with extreme prejudice.
falls to the ground. It was a perfect plan, but it won't be the last. They are eternal. And then she collapses to the ground, and you know that she is dead. You have saved the world.
So what do you do now?
I don't know. Want to get some sushi?
Turn the lights off.